Hello and welcome to The Shift, the podcast that aims to tell the no-holds-barred truth about being a woman post-40, created and hosted by me, writer and broadcaster, Sam Baker. Now, there are plenty of famous women who we think we know all there is to know about without ever having met them. Women we judge based on some random, unsubstantiated headline. But there are few women that applies to quite so much as Katie Price. Katie has been in the public eye for 30 years. She started as the glamour model Jordan at just 17 and is now a best-selling author and businesswoman. Not that the media tells you that very often. She has published 6 autobiographies, 11 novels, and 2 series of children's books. She's released her own lingerie, haircare, perfume, and equestrian lines, starred in a host of reality programs, and won Celebrity Big Brother in 2015. She's been through divorces, bankruptcies, carjacking, home repossession. She has raised 5 children and campaigned for her disabled son, Harvey. She has survived childhood abuse, addiction, depression, and much more. But more than anything else, Katie Price is sick to the back teeth of other people's opinions of her, which is why she's written her 7th autobiography, This Is Me, because she's decided that at 46, it's about bloody time she wrote her own narrative instead of letting other people do it.
I've now got the tools and the knowledge to know how to deal with these situations, any situation. You know, I won't be dictated by anyone anymore. I won't have all these toxic, narcissist relationships.
Katie joined me from her new house, where the Wi-Fi hasn't been sorted out yet, to talk about how her breakdown changed everything and the agony of revisiting the worst times in her life for the book. We also discussed ADHD, IVF, body dysmorphia, Botox, and why at 46 she is finally done letting other people dictate her life and her business. Well, thanks so much for coming on The Shift, Katie. Do you prefer Kate or Katie?
Anything, Kate, Katie. People call me Pricey. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, I won't call you Pricey. I feel like that's a mate's thing. I don't know enough to...
Yeah.
Let's start the obvious place. It's like the book, it's a tough read in places. Was it a tough write?
I hated every bit of it.
Really?
If
Why?
I'm honest. Because I felt like I was just going over old stuff again, which I've done in therapy. And it's in my head, especially when I did the audio book, having to read it again as well. It's like, I don't want to be reminded. I just don't want to be reminded of it all. But then I have to look at it like, well, look, you've come out the other side. Because imagine how hard it was for me to write the book. And then do the audio book, reading it. It's like double bash in my head. But then I looked at it as, well, how bad it is shows how bad I was at the time, but now how I've come out the other end. So really, it's inspiring for me to look back at the person I was when I wasn't very well. And I overcome it and I've come out and it was the best thing that I ever did. Not that I wish it on anybody, but I know a lot of people do get in them situations, you know, your mental health, having a breakdown, suicidal. It happens to so many people. And so this book it's not like my other books. It's more of a insight of this is me. I put on the face when inside I was suffering, crying out for help, but didn't know what to do, who to turn to, who to trust, and then I've come the other side. So now when I look back at it, I'm like, wow.
Is that kind of putting on the face? Have you always done that? Is that a real Kate thing?
I suppose it's not putting on a face. It's just,
the armour,
I didn't know about therapists. No, because I'm the same person on camera and off camera. And even off camera, I'd still be the same to people. But I think because I had a lot of real life true events from a young age that's happened in my life, I never dealt with them. And then subconsciously, without you realising, these things build up in your brain, one after the other, to the other, to the other, until you get to a point like, whoa, what is going on? And it's understanding, you know, and it hits you, and it hits you at a time when you least expect. And then when you are in that rut, as I call it, then everything else on top feels worse than it is. And then everything ruminates in your brain. You don't know how to deal with it. And then you just want to be in the dark, in bed, away from everyone. You just don't want to be here anymore. And I hear stories about it all the time from people. But do you know what? It's okay to be in a low situation. It's okay to have a breakdown. Because if it makes you then think, oh, wow, I need to get help now, then it's the road to recovery and build your strength, positivity back, and learn how to deal with situations. So like now, there's nothing will break me ever again. Nothing, because I've now got the tools and the knowledge to know how to deal with these situations, any situation. You know, I won't be dictated by anyone anymore. I won't have all these toxic, narcissist relationships anymore. You know, I've done a domestic abuse course. I've never been in a healthy relationship. Not one of my relationships before JJ have been healthy. They've either had an element of toxic, narcissist, gaslighting, jealousy, abusive, mentally or physically, you know, all of that. I've had it all from every single relationship. And in the end, you get exhausted with everything. So now that I'm becoming to be a life coach now, so I can help other people. And I think because I have been through divorces, you know, the media on me, being judged by people and having the breakdowns, having like a bankruptcy of the house. I've been there, hijacked, kidnapped threats, burgled, like, I don't know, abuse, you name it, I've had it.
Yeah.
And I think, wow, if I can't help anyone now, then who can? You know?
Yeah, I mean, reading the book, you just think, oh my God, that's like, when is this shit going to stop? There's just like so much of it.
But there was a lot taken out the book for legal reasons.
I'll bet, yeah.
And people have to realise when you do a book, legal teams are over it, because obviously there are some damning situations, and there were a lot taken out, which I wish wasn't, but for legal reasons they had to. But there's still enough in there to get the gist of what was going on.
Yeah, it still comes across. You use a quote right at the beginning of the book on the first page. It says, I'm done asking why they keep doing it. Now I'm going to start asking why I keep allowing it. I love that. I love that. And I think there'll be loads of women who feel like that too. Tell me why you do.
Well, it's true, because it's like, why do I keep letting things happen to me? Why? Do something about it. But it's taken me 46 years letting things happen because I'm too easygoing. I've been a pushover. People taking advantage of my kindness as a weakness.
Do you think, you know, because like you say you're a survivor and you really, really are. But do you like sometimes wonder if you hadn't been, because you've achieved so much, if you hadn't been having to spend all that time and energy surviving, like you'd have been unstoppable. Not that you aren't already, but you know what I mean?
Well, I'm definitely unstoppable now. But no, I do agree. But, well, if I wasn't doing what I was doing, I would have been a registered nurse, end of, because that's what I was training to be before I got into this industry. And like now I still want to train to be a paramedic, and I will do it. I would say now I feel like I've been in a washing machine, come out the end of it. I've now got the knowledge, the power, and the experience. There you go. I've got the knowledge and the experience. And now I'm not being dictated by anybody. I am my person, and I only do what I want to do. And I pick and choose what I want to do. I'm in control of my diary. I know what I want to do in a day, and it works better for me. It's my way. No, I'm not a product to anyone anymore. I am Katie, the human being. I just won't let myself ever get in that situation, because I know now trigger signs. I know when people are trying to antagonize me. I know the tools to deal with anything that comes at me. And it's such a nice feeling to be in control.
Did this all of this come from going to the Priory?
I was in there for I had severe traumatic rehabilitation. I've never been in there for addiction, despite what the media have said. I've never had an alcohol or coke addiction. I self-medicated, which is different to being an addict. It was easy for me to stop the coke just like that. And I wasn't on it every day. And what I needed was help to realise what was going on, what was causing the anxiety, the traumas.
Now you're where you are. What would you say to little Katie?
Don't rush relationships. Don't trust managers. Make sure you get financial people to help you, understand things. And I wish people I knew about therapists and able to talk to people when you don't feel right in the head or you're upset about something. Communication. That's what I would say.
It's interesting you say that about managers, because managers are, I know they come in all shapes and sizes, but they're meant to protect you, aren't they? And we all know that there are loads of famous people with massive problems that we never hear about because their managers deal with it and make it go away.
Managers have been awful for me. I'm a product to them, not a human being. They make money from me. They don't care. They think they protect you because they're protecting their pocket. And I'm just a product, not a human. That's how I feel about managers.
Totally. So how have you gone about reclaiming your power and reclaiming your career for yourself?
Because I'm in control. I've got the right people around me. I get my sister and my brother, they're involved. If I've got a contract with something, I send it to them. I do my diary. I choose what work I do. I get people to contact my sister and brother offering me work. They send it to me saying, are you interested or not? I'll discuss it and say yes or no. And it works like that. And it's so much better. And they understand me. And there's a lot of stuff they won't come to me for because they know I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, so they just don't even bring it to you. But have you reached that point where you feel like the only people you can trust are your family, more or less?
Literally, there's a few, not even a handful of people I trust in my life, but I definitely trust my family. I don't need people in my life. I don't need a lot of people in my life. And when I look back, I question, why were they really friends with me? Is it because what I could offer them, what they would get out of me? Because they wanted an affair with my husband. That was then. But then before then, no, I was just used and abused, basically. Used, abused. I don't feel I really had proper friendships. The friendships I've got now are either people I knew from school or when I was 15 it's just a lot of people I've known for a long time, to be honest.
So when you look back at your career, are there things that, knowing what you know now, are there some things you'd do differently?
I don't think I would change anything differently because I wouldn't be where I was today. I think relationships I wouldn't have done. Certain relationships I certainly wouldn't have done. That would be it, really, because I've had a fantastic life, been to so many countries, so many different job things, opportunities that I've done. I've been there, done it, worn the T-shirt, love my press calls, love bringing all my products out. So I'm basically starting my empire again. But this time, my control, not being controlled. Even though it was all my ideas, my press calls, that's my creative side. But I suppose I know what money I get for stuff, not being told a price, when really you find out that's not what you got, things like that.
Have there been any moments, because you've had such a shit time with the press and managers and whatnot, have there been any moments where you just thought, I'm just going to walk away, I just want to walk away?
No, I don't want to walk away because I love what I do. The media, I think they've just got more damning now because of social media, because you do have a voice. And obviously I do my podcast with my sister. So if the papers do write anything really bad, then I bring it up in the podcast and rectify and say what a load of rubbish this is. So now you have a voice. And I think the media, because they haven't got a voice, their print, they make stories so much more harsher for clickbait. But But for me, I've got a voice and a lot of followers through over my socials and on the podcast that I can explain all what they write.
Do you feel like social media's given you some power then? It's just part of all of your control.
My podcast gives me power because if people are interested in clicking on stories, they will click into the podcast and hear stuff. And it's a voice, and I can say the truth of what's gone on all around that story. For example, they think I was evicted from my house through bankruptcy, and that's a load of rubbish. That wasn't why I was evicted. I chose to give the keys back. It was all to do with fly tipping on my land a few years ago by a fraudster who ended up being in the papers because I found out who he was, and he'd been in prison twice for doing the same thing as what he'd done to me. And I had the council on my back and the mortgage company because they wanted the fields back to how they were. And he had made like 1.2 million. It would have cost me about £800,000 to shift it and make it back to how it was. That wouldn't have added value to my house. And so to me, that £800,000 was a waste. And in the end, I was like, do you know what? I'd rather give the keys back to the mortgage company. Then they sell it. They get what I owe them. It was a small amount that I owed the mortgage company. And then the rest of it will go back to me when it's sold. But the media are like, oh, no, she's been evicted for bankruptcy. And when that wasn't the case, it was nothing to do with my bankruptcy. Like I earn a lot of money. I still earn good money. I pick and choose what I do. Being in a bankruptcy, yeah, they take a percentage of what I earn now. And that's it. That's a consequence of what happened from my breakdown. You know, so many people go into bankruptcy, whether they've got money or no money. It can happen to anyone at any time. And you just have to communicate and deal with it. But I think the media just love to keep saying, bankrupt Kate, she's on this, or bankrupt Kate that, or she's been evicted. It's just so boring now. It's so boring when I've never been in such a good situation now. I'm back earning good money like I did before. Now I'm in control and it's the comeback time for me. And I'm so excited because I'm doing it my way this time.
Do you think that the kind of the media turns on you because
I'm an easy target?
Yeah. But also because you wouldn't stay in your lane. You wouldn't stay in the glamour model lane.
Well, I do OnlyFans. There's a platform where I do OnlyFans, and I do exactly on there what I used to do in magazines. Underwear, swimwear. I won't do underwear and swimwear shots on any of my social platforms because that's what I used to get paid to do. You know, if they get more magazines back out, then I'd go back and do them. So it's a platform. So I still do it, but I do it for people who want to see it. I'm not going to do it for nothing on Instagram and stuff. Why should I? That's how I've made a living.
It's I think the media has this idea of how you're supposed to behave, and they put you in a slot, don't they? They give you a label and that's you. And you always did push against that.
It's because I'm not manufactured. I am what I am. I've had my ups, my downs, my dramas. And I think because people have grown up with me, they feel they know me and seen it all unravel, can relate to me, that I have real life situations that go on. You know, nothing's hidden. It is what it is.
I think right at the beginning you said something about life coaching. Is that, are you going to train?
I've already started, yes. And it's really interesting because you learn more about yourself, and obviously you get certificate and you're qualified at the end of it. I can't wait to do it because I think to be a real good life coach, you've got to be able to have gone through stuff yourself to be able to give advice. You know, I've had it, lost it, had it, lost it, had the ups and downs with the relationships, the divorces, the marriages, the betrayal, the affairs, children. I've had lots of children, being single parent, and you know, I literally kidnap threats, hijack threats. You know, I've had it. I've had every experience possible that if I don't know and I've come through the other end and I'm sitting there smiling, positive, ready to push the restart button of my career and come back with like I say, the knowledge and all of that, then I don't know who can.
You are incredibly positive, aren't you? How do you manage that?
But I wasn't. I am now because I've learned the tools that made me how vulnerable I was, how gullible I was, how needy I was, how I just was dictated, let men dictate me, let managers dictate me, like just relied on people too much. Never anymore. I don't care. The papers, there's absolute nothing they could write now that could ever damage me. I think they've done more than damage limitation and what they've done now. I think they've just done everything. But I'm still here. And I'm going to stay here, I'm afraid, for a very long time.
I mean, you're 46 now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about getting older?
I love it. I love it. Age doesn't scare me. I think age is true. It's just a number. And like I say, I've got the knowledge and the experience to now know and do what I want to do. You know, if I survive 30 years and going through all them traumas, and I managed to do it. And imagine what it's like for me now, being this positive mind. I'm not too old to do anything I haven't done in the past because I still do my photo shoot, still do the OnlyFans, still do TV. Now I do my podcast. I'm now touring, doing podcast shows. I'm now been booked to do festivals, singing. Like the world is my oyster. I'm going to bring out all my products and that again. I'm invincible again now and I'm in control and that is the best thing ever.
Why do you think, I mean, I kind of know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Why do you think that it's like, if you were a bloke, you'd be an entrepreneur and a businessman? You never get called that, do you?
Unfortunately, like the younger generation, I always ask this because obviously I've got kids of different ages. I don't know what they know me for. Because if they really knew what I had done in the past, they'd probably find me quite inspiring to know how much I have actually achieved as a woman and from a young age when I started it. But now it's like, I'm going to do it all again. I might be older, but I'm in control this time. And I know the ropes.
I mean, in the book you made, there's a comment about Pamela Anderson, who kind of has got, in a way, she's having like a bit of a comeback for like not wearing any makeup. And you said, I just think she looks rough now, which did really make me laugh.
I think, I always looked up and thought how stunning she was. I haven't got makeup on now. I've not an ounce of makeup.
No way, really?
If I have to prove it.
No, you don't have to prove it. I'm just like...
I have eyelash extensions, that's it. But I've got no foundation and I've got Vaseline on my lips. See, I haven't got makeup on. But I have had a bit of help from the surgeons, okay? But I don't wear makeup unless it's for work. So I do go natural. But yeah, I think, if an older woman wants to go natural and embrace it, do it. I just said she doesn't look so good as she thinks she does without makeup. But if it makes her happy and that's what she wants to do, I'm always a fan of hers. Because she was just so stunning. And she's still beautiful, but I just think she don't look as good as she did.
Yeah, I mean, like most of us don't look...
No, we don't.
Well, you can see.
I don't think there's anything wrong with what you look like at all. But if someone asked me about Pamela Anderson and I compare what she was like, I still think she could be a bit more glam than what she does now because she knows how to, because she's done it, is what I mean.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can you, I mean, you said you've had a bit of help from the surgeon. What do you do? Do you Botox?
I don't have filler. I have my lips on. Don't have filler in my face ever. I have Botox. But if you Google my name, Google seems to think they know more about my surgeries than I know myself. And it's so pathetic. Like, I have not had 17 boob jobs. I think if I had 17 boob jobs, I don't think I would have any boobs to do anything with and they'd be scarred up, disgusting. So definitely haven't had 17 boob jobs.
How many have you had?
I don't know, but it's not like 17. Nowhere near.
You recently had a reduction, didn't you?
Yeah, I've gone smaller. Any surgery I have, I always tell people, I'm not one of these people who make out that I'm growing old gracefully when really on the side I'm having Botox and fillers, because you can see that people have had work done. I don't know why they lie about it. And I don't care. I tell everyone what I've had done. I don't care. If I want that extra help to make me feel good, then I'll do it.
How do you feel? How's your body image now you're getting older? Is it better than when you were younger, or is it worse?
There's obviously an underlying issue there because I'm never happy with how I look. So that's something I do need to discover about myself because I'm always trying to do something to myself. So the body dysmorphia, I probably do have it, but there's obviously a reason why I do it to myself. That I haven't got to yet. Because to me, that's not a serious thing. To me, it was more serious sorting out my traumas in my life that I've had, the real life serious events, rather than if I'm having Botox filler or going under the knife. At least I don't look like an alien. I mean, there's going too far and there's going too far, and I still look pretty normal.
And I think the thing is that your looks are some of your job, aren't they?
I don't care about that. I've never had surgery for my job, and I don't think people should have surgery for jobs. So no, I don't do surgery to look good for anyone but myself. I am what I am. If people don't like what they see, like my tattoos and that, then don't look. I do everything for myself. No man, no other person, no job, just for me. And I always have done it just for me.
A couple of episodes ago on the podcast, which I'll pop a link in the show notes too, you were talking about whether or not you could be perimenopausal at 46.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. What's going on?
I still have my periods, but sometimes I wake up in the night soaking wet. It's not like a BO smell sweat. Like the back of my hair is soaking, and then I get cold, and then I just have to quickly get out of the bed, lie on top of the cover, and then put a blanket on me, fall back to sleep, and my pillows are wet. I think that's premenopause. It's got to be.
Yeah. It totally is. Where you sometimes like you have to have like all your limbs out of the bed to try to not be.
Yeah, but what is
boiling.
the sweat like? When I say my bed's wet, it's wet.
Yeah. And if you change your sheets, it'd be wet again in like
what
an
is
hour.
that? I haven't even looked into premenopause or anything yet. I just know that sometimes I wake up for no reason, sweats in the bed, but cold sweats.
Yeah, that's totally it. Because they call it hot flashes, and that kind of in the daytime it sort of is.
How long does that last?
Well, depends. It can last a really long time, but
crazy.
It depends if you want to do HRT. I mean, for me, HRT stopped it, but it wasn't just that. It was like loads of other stuff, like the brain fog, which obviously you can tell I've still got.
I said to my therapist, and this is no joke, I said, do you think I'm getting Alzheimer's? What age can you get Alzheimer's? He said, what do you mean? And I'm like, because some simple things, or I just forget things, or people's names who I see every day. I'm like, don't think I'm weird, but what's your name again? I know your name because you're weird all the time. Like forgetful things. And then when I say stuff, it comes out different to what I say. I know that's a bit of ADHD because I've been told that. But the Alzheimer's things, they're just saying that's the ADHD. But I'm like, sometimes I think, am I really getting Alzheimer's? And it drives me mad because I'm forgetting things.
People say that to me all the time. And it's like a recognized thing that some women think that they're getting that they've got early onset Alzheimer's, and it is perimenopause.
Oh, really? So that's what I'm going through as well then. It's so weird. No one understands it until you're there. And it drives me crazy.
Well, it's not something you want to think about.
No, but sometimes I'm like 46. And for me to ask the therapist, are you sure I'm not getting Alzheimer's? Because I thought, yeah, I do forget things. Like even things that are so familiar. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, what's that called? Where did I get that from again? And then it would come to me later on. It's horrible.
Yeah, it really is. And it does make you feel like ancient.
Because I feel young. I don't think I look my age. I don't dress my age. And I'm still nuts, crazy fun. But the realistic thing is, I am 46. And whether I like it or not, my inside of my body is still 46-year-old, whether I like it or not. So I will start going through all of this. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I am getting older. And it's things you just have to come to terms with. There's nothing you can do about it.
Because I was reading the interview you did with Bryony Gordon for the Mail on Sunday yesterday. You had the failed rounds of IVF this year.
Yeah, there's a program coming out.
More kids?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you mad?
No, I want at least another 2 if I can. My IVF journey will be out. So it's something I'm not going to watch because I don't want to watch it and be reminded of it. So, yeah, it's to be told by a doctor if you can or can't have kids. I want to be able to make that choice. But there's lots of ways if you can't have kids yourself. There's still lots of ways you can have kids. So no one should give up on that journey. Do you know what I mean? Just if you can't have them yourself, there's so many other avenues you can do. But I will do everything I can until I get at least another baby or two.
You said my eggs are too old. Did you say that, or was that the gynecologist said that?
No, gynecologists, they're old. I didn't realise when you have
It's
your
brutal,
periods,
isn't
you
it?
lose eggs and stuff. And I'm like, but I fall pregnant so easy. What are you on about? Like, but it's true. I don't think anyone believes it. Soon as you hit 40, everything does change on your body. And I never believed it, but it really, really does. It honestly does. Your skin changes, your mind changes, your inside your body, so everything changes. And it's so true.
Yeah, I mean, when I was about your age, I remember I had an ultrasound and the gynecologist said to me, because I had loads of like heavy periods and stuff, and we were like trying to work out what to do. And the gynecologist kind of went in with the ultrasound and she was like, "Oh, don't worry, you're almost all out of eggs." And it's like,
Same as me. I haven't got many. Yeah. Have you got kids or not?
I've got a stepson.
Yeah, so you didn't. So with your eggs, because like one of the times I had 2 eggs on one side or 3 on the other. And it's like, is that all? And it's not saying that they're all good either. So it'd be an interesting journey to watch. But then I'm like, you can always get donors, surrogates and all of that. So I'm not giving up, whatever I need to do.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah, my sister's due in November. I can't wait to have her little baby. I just love babies. My youngest is 9. I love it. I just love being a mum. I love the nurturing. I love newborns. I just love every stage. I just love it. I'm just built to be a mum.
It sounds like you're a bit better at looking after other people than yourself.
Oh, I'm crap. Although I've learned self-care. No, I've got better at that. So that's good.
What does self-care look like now?
Having time to yourself, like ride the horses or go and have a massage or, mind you, I hate doing my nails. That's a chore for me because I've always done. That isn't self-love to me. That's something that I think I always do anyway. Have a facial, see your friends, see your family, like self-care like that.
Do the horses give you, is that like your happy place, your sane place?
Always been. I've ridden since I was 7. Horses are my life. I love horses. I love riding. I love riding out in the countryside. The smells of things when the grass is cut or the fields are cut and hearing the horse like with his muzzle like blowing out air, the sweat on them. I like the noise of the clippity-clop. I just love it all.
Did you ever want to do that to try and make it a job?
No, I always wanted to be a model or pop star.
Where did the nurse thing come from then?
Well, I always wanted to be a nurse, but like in my book, because I've always cared, but I always wanted to be famous model or pop star because I just love caring for people. I just love it. And unfortunately, that's the side that's never been portrayed about me in the media, how caring I am. And I mean, look at Harvey, how I've had to care for him and I do it myself. So no one can ever knock me and say, yeah, you're just saying it. I've proved it. Not that I need to prove it. I've done it and I don't moan about it. I get on with it. And I respect every nurse, carer, anyone, NHS, everyone out there. And whenever I do events or even if I see an ambulance person, I'd go up to say, just to let you know you're doing a really good job. If I see parents out with kids or an adult and I think they've got autism or something, I always go up to them and say, just to let you know, you're doing a good job. I bet no one says that to you because I understand. And people look at me like shocked that, they've got a nice comment or that I've said it because I totally get it.
Yeah, nobody notices. And if they do notice, they don't say.
No.
They just take it for granted.
I know if there's a parent, how hard it is, even if they got a young adult or child in a wheelchair. I know how hard work it was for them at home to even get them dressed, prepared, to know what to bring out, then to put them in the car, then to get them out. That is hard work in itself, just to even do that bit, let alone to a normal kid, you'll be like, get in the car, let's go, put your shoes on in the car, go. It's just not like that. You've got to have patience, the time.
Do you have help with him?
No, I do it myself when he comes home. Do it myself. And he wants me to do it because he wants the praise of me. So he loves it, yeah. And he loves it when I give him a bath because he loves me washing his hair, giving him a scrub. And although he can dry himself, he wants me to do it, dry him, and then wants me to help him get dressed. And he just wants me to do everything for him. But then again, if he does shower himself, he doesn't do it properly because he doesn't really know about hygiene and stuff. But he'll get in the shower and give it a go. But if I shower him, I do it properly.
Right, I'm going to ask you the questions that I always ask at the end. What is your emotional age?
Oh, early 30s.
Why is that?
Because I'm still like a young spring chicken. I've still got that fun in me. I still quite keep things fun. It's weird because I'm mature, but then I can be immature. Yeah, I'm like in my young 30s still.
Give us a book recommendation.
Men on Death Row, Their Last Meals and Their Last Sayings, because I'm really into crime.
Do you particularly like true crime?
True crime, documentaries, true documentaries, serial killers. I watch about paedophiles. I watch about murderers, one-off murderers, prison break. You name it, I watch it. That's all I watch. I don't know if that's an ADHD thing, but that's the only thing I can switch off and watch is anything to do with crime. 24 hours police custody, digital murders, you name it, I watch it.
No, I love a bit of true crime.
I love it.
Particularly love a true crime podcast.
I've never listened to one. Everyone says I should.
Oh, you totally should. Yeah, because you like podcasts.
Yeah, I should. Yeah.
You'll go down that rabbit hole. You'll never come out, honestly.
I'm already down that rabbit hole watching it on telly. Even when I'm on the train, I'm watching it on my phone. Or if I'm in the car, obviously as a passenger, I'm watching crime. Wherever I go, just watch crime. I love it.
What advice would you give younger women?
You're your own person. Don't let any man take advantage of you. Don't let anyone dictate you. You're your own person. You make your own decisions and it's your life and you only get one.
Who's your old bird role model?
I don't have one. There's no role model. One? No, I like to create myself. I mean, my mum's given me lots of advice, so I do look up to my mum, but as a typical role model, no, I don't care who anyone is, what they do. We're all born and we go in the ground, we go the same.
What's your superpower?
Personality. I'm a good listener and a good talker.
And last one, how many fucks do you give?
I don't give a fuck about anything but what I want to do.
Do you know what? I believe that as well.
Yeah, you could feel that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you really meant that.
It's just me and my cubs I will protect. Me and my family, my kids, and other than that, I don't give a fuck about what anyone says, what they do, their opinion. I've been there, done that, had it, and never again. I don't care.
Thank you, Katie, so much. I'm so glad we made it happen in the end. We made it.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy The Shift and would like to show your appreciation, why not buy me a coffee? Go to www.buymeacoffee.com/The Shift with Sam Baker. You can hear a new episode of The Shift every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like what you hear, please do rate, review, follow, tell your friends, because it really does help other people find us. And if you'd like to know more about my own experience of shifting, my book, The Shift, How I Lost and Found Myself After 40, and you can too, is out now in paperback.